Heading to Las Vegas to catch the action at Allegiant Stadium? Skip the traffic and the sky-high room rates of the Strip. Book your stay at the South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa. The South Point is located just 7 miles away from the stadium, and it's a quick trip up the freeway, making it an affordable rideshare or taxi ride. And don't worry about getting here when you land in Vegas. We offer a convenient airport shuttle to get your getaway off to a stress-free start. Shuttles are also available on Raider game days for a small fee. So whether you're rooting for your team or seeing your favorite band in concert at Allegiant Stadium, South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa is your ticket to all the excitement.
Looking to bet smarter? Get sports betting insight and winning picks straight from the South Point Hotel and Casino.
The favorite should be 220-ish, and here, you can lay $1.65.
So getting a plus 315 price here for this one to go to overtime. I like it.
Their strength is their defense. I like the under.
Join Sports by the Book Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific and bet your winning edge.
Happy Monday, everybody, and welcome in. It was not talked about. It didn't really need to be. A lot of Team USA merch and gear being rocked here in the South Point studio. We're going to recap the entire weekend. We're going to look ahead to the week. But first, before all of that, let's get right into it. You are watching Sports by the Book. I'm Alex White, third-generation handicapper, up with Ryan McCormick on the other side. Host and producer. Look at him rocking his USA there. Also a generation handicapper or linesmaker. Ryan, welcome in. And Team USA gets it done early morning for us in Pacific time yesterday, but it was probably the best hockey game I have ever watched, so I'm not disappointed. Overall reactions to USA getting it done.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. An amazing game to watch. I did sneak in naps during the intermission and may have slept for the first 5 minutes of the third period, and then woke back up and got to watch the rest of the game there. But yeah, an absolutely outstanding hockey game. Overtime was pretty nerve-wracking. Really, the entire game was nerve-wracking, but 3-on-3 against that Canadian team is an intimidating thing to have to go against. But yeah, our guys end up being victorious by the same score that our women were victorious against the Canadian team in overtime, 2-1. So double gold for the first time in Olympic history, our Winter Olympic history, are the American hockey teams, both men's and women's, gold for the first time in the same year.
If you did listen to us early on, I did give out the 2-1 to take USA before the tournament started. I thought they were closer to Canada than being priced. And then yesterday's game, I mean, it was basically a pick 'em. I think minus 115 for Team Canada. Total 5.5, heavy juice to the under. If you were willing to play that, or maybe some alt unders, maybe you cash there. But yeah, 2-1. It felt like it was a game 7, right? I mean, the first goal, Matt Boldy in the first period for Team USA. And then the next goal was not scored until, 3 minutes to go in that second period from Cale Makar to tie it up. And then that third period was just a crazy roller coaster of emotions for both sides, both fans in that third period. A lot of things did go Team USA's way, but you got to give them credit. I mean, they killed a 5-on-3 for a minute and 30 against that team. And I think that says everything right there. And Hellebuck was amazing. I think he probably should have been the MVP. What do you think about that?
Absolutely. Both American goalies got snubbed from being the tournament MVPs. Connor McDavid. We had heard in the earlier games, the U.S. versus Germany, Matthew Tkachuk kind of chirping at Leon Draisaitl, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. That is never been more true with Connor McDavid, always winning the MVPs, but still losing in the title games, whether it's the Stanley Cup Finals, World Cups, or here at the Olympics. So, Connor Hellebuck absolutely should have won the men's side MVP, and then Aaron Frankel should have won it for the women's side. Their goalie, first women's goalie in Olympic history to have 3 shutouts in the tournament, and it goes to her defenseman in front of her, Caroline Harvey, who was second on Team USA in ice time and tied for the tournament lead in points there on the women's side. It should have been both goalies to win MVPs, as they were absolutely outstanding. And the Hughes brothers both had said, really everybody giving post game answers and talking to the press, we're giving all the props to Connor Hellebuck, and they even said on the broadcast like they wouldn't be in that game if it wasn't for Connor Hellebuck. They wouldn't have won the game without Connor Hellebuck. I mean, obviously you need the 2 goals to beat Team Canada, but holding Team Canada to 1 goal is absolutely incredible. And Connor Hellebuck stood in his head, and you got the paddle save. That'll be an image for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
There are so many iconic photos to come out of this, and it's incredible to be on the right side of it.
I just cannot believe Jack Hughes, after that high stick and losing some teeth, and right back out there, and then scores the overtime game-winning goal there. So yeah, there's an iconic picture too, for sure. Connor Hellebuck, amazing. I mean, it's been a question, can he do it in the big games? And he definitely showed up when they needed him most. Felt a lot of Johnny Hockey being there with them, wouldn't you say? Because, I mean, there were a couple where your heart just dropped, where it felt like Team Canada was going to score one of them. I mean, you mentioned him, the McKinnon even. I mean, he makes that, how many, 99 out of 100?
Yeah. No, just seeing, them celebrate, circling his jersey around with them around the ice, and then the team photo, bringing his kids out. I mean, if you didn't get emotional at that point, I don't know what you were not so upset about, because that was an absolute heart check. And Johnny Hockey absolutely would have been on that team. And it kind of, we heard a little bit from Eddie Olczyk on the broadcast about how much of a brotherhood Team USA Hockey is, and those guys, I mean, just being together for 2-3 weeks, and really banding together, and how much it means at the younger levels. But yeah, Johnny Hockey, being his Johnny Gaudreau Jr.'s birthday yesterday, 46 years to the date of winning the Miracle on Ice. You also want to add in George Washington's birthday if you want to. Canada really stood no chance if you added all those things up.
I love it. It was amazing watching that entire game there, and I loved seeing all the footage of watch parties across the country. Did not matter what time it was, and I think it made it even more special getting up nice and early to support our country's hockey team. But yeah, anything else? You brought up Eddie-O. I've heard him, get a lot of kudos from a lot of different shows. I feel like we should do the same, since we were pretty blessed to get some of his time and got to talk to him last Monday. But any favorite quotes from you? We were talking before we jumped on the show.
Yeah, it was really that 5-on-3, killing the 5-on-3, or needing to kill that 5-on-3 for 1:33, and feeling like 46 years. That really kind of was the one that stuck out. But I mean, really, Eddie making points throughout the entire broadcast, and kind of the same sentiments that he was sharing on our show of being an Olympian and what it meant to follow that miracle team and fall short and not medal in the year that he participated in the Olympics. And to be there. We'll get Eddie on here in the next couple of weeks, and kind of get his thoughts on what it meant for him to be there to witness that, and what it means for USA Hockey to get to experience the gold medal again, and kind of the emotions that are there with that. But yeah, absolutely incredible to get him on the week of the Olympics, and extremely appreciative of Eddie Olczyk there.
Yeah, looking forward to that when we do get to talk to him again and get all of the emotions from him that he was feeling being there. First time U.S. men's and women sweep to win the gold.
Yep.
It's pretty incredible here in 2026. I think it's a little far when people say we own the sport, but for now, right? And at least for 4 years.
Yeah, we'll see how much the NHL kind of brings this back, even to the Four Nations last year, how much they want to make this a routine. I do think there is also a World Cup next year. So we'll kind of see how it goes. But I mean, we won the younger World Cup this year, so that was the reason we were the high seed going into this Olympics tournament. So yeah, own it while we can. We do run hockey around the world, especially here in 2026.
And really a quick turnaround for all of those players. NHL games return Wednesday. So as we were doing for the first 2/3 of the season, we will be handicapping and going over those games daily. So we've got 8 this Wednesday coming up, and we'll have to really look into it, kind of see which teams have been practicing, haven't lost a lot of pieces that were still over there in Italy, and then which pieces may start a little slow here. But we'll get to that. That is Wednesday this week. It's gonna go quick, right? 25-ish games in 50 days for all of these teams, and then we'll be looking for Stanley Cup odds and all of that. So, but before that, let's recap the weekend in college basketball, and then not a big slate for us today, but we do have a few basketball games. 2 really big ones, one in the ACC, one in the Big 12, Louisville and North Carolina, and Houston and Kansas. Some crazy trends going into that Houston and Kansas game that we will talk about and see if there's a bet to be made. And then basically the entire conference, Southland Conference, is in action tonight. We'll kind of quickly go through those. And then one game in SWAC with one of the bottom teams here in D1. And then the second half of the show, we will have Chris Andrews join us, kind of recap what's been happening behind the book and how the action was for the Olympics overall. But all right, Ryan, for Saturday, which was a huge slate, how did the trends go and how did you do on your whiteboard?
Well, I did not go back and look at the entire slate and how the favorites did on those. But for the first time this year, took 50 days, but I went 0-4 on my whiteboard. Did not get a winner there. So yeah, when you get no baskets for 10 minutes there with Houston, that's really difficult to win. And then Michigan and Duke handled their business. I did end up jumping in on that one, not on the whiteboard, but took the under when I found out they were using the tournament balls. And then also the Pacers blow a double-digit, I think, 14-point lead against the Wizards at halftime. To now, the Wizards are now 2-42.
Oh my God.
On the second of a back-to-back, and then that was more of an emotional hedge, and we're happy to lose that one. It ended up being a good weekend because Sean Strickland was a $2 underdog there on the UFC on Saturday, so that was good. But anyway, college basketball on Saturday, the big underdogs to win outright. And this is a at least $3 money line upset. Florida State beat Clemson 70-65 as an 8.5-point dog. You were getting 335 on the money line here at the South Point. North Carolina A&T won by 20 at Elon as an 8-point dog. You were getting 310 there on the money line. Buffalo wins in OT at UMass. That one is also 310 on the money line. And Wyoming in the Mountain West here upsets Grand Canyon 70-65, a plus 330 there on the money line. And then the ones that headlined Saturday, all these ranked matchups and the big upsets that happened. Not necessarily $3, but Cincinnati takes down Kansas in Lawrence. The biggest home loss for Kansas in a very, very long time. I forget the actual year there, but 84-68 as an 8-point dog there for Cincinnati, a plus 270 on the money line. Arizona took down Houston 73-66 as a 6-point dog. You were getting 230 on the money line here at the South Point. Arizona also becomes the second team since the turn of the century to have 3 wins in the regular season against 3 AP top 3 teams. So they joined Kansas, who ended up losing the national title that year in 2011-2012. But yeah, second team all time to have 3 AP top 3 wins during the regular season. And then UCLA beats Illinois, number 10 Illinois, in overtime with that one was a pretty good overtime to watch. 95-94. That was 220 on the money line there. Duke took down Michigan 68-63. You were getting plus 150 on that money line. And then Iowa State did have a letdown spot at BYU, lose 79-69. BYU getting plus 130 on that money line. So did you happen to have any of those on Saturday, Alex?
Well, I did have Duke. Did not tweet that one out, but did have it on the whiteboard. But went 3-3 in my other pick. So 4-3 for me that day. I should have had UCLA with the Mick Cronin and all that drama circulating. It didn't look good in that first half, though. Had two favorites that both ended up losing outright, SDSU and USC. So did not have a bounce back spot for either of those teams, which I anticipated. But dogs wise, pretty good, 3-1 for them. But Sunday, anything there? Or did you look at those ones or not?
So we did not have any big underdogs on Sunday in men's college basketball to win outright. We did have one in the NBA, and that would be the 76ers going on the road to Minnesota and taking down their Timberwolves by 27 points as a 9.5 point underdog. You were getting $3 on the money line there. And then also to make a point of the events that finished up yesterday, whether it was the Auto Trader 400 or the Genesis Invitational, Tyler Reddick wins the Auto Trader 400 down in Atlanta as a 20-1 shot there. Becomes the first racer to win back-to-back starts of a back-to-back races to start a season since Matt Kenseth in 2009. Becomes the sixth racer all time to do that. And Jacob Bridgman, an 80-1 shot, wins the Genesis Invitational at 18 under, despite being one over yesterday. So Jacob Bridgman, 80-1. He was 90-1 to win at Pebble Beach and was at the top of the leaderboard at some point on Sunday. That ended up falling the spread. So we gave you Texas A&M Community College -2 at Southeast Louisiana. Lamar -2 at against Nicholls State. Lamar at home. East Texas A&M -3 at home against Houston Christian, and Stephen F. Austin -12.5 there at home against New Orleans. So they are surely staying away. But which ones do you guys think end up covering that spread as the favorite there in the extra board games in college basketball?
Very good. I do have one of that list that I do like as a favorite, but we'll get into it. And one of them, I'm actually going other side, taking the points with the dog there. But okay. Let's dive right into these big games. We'll start off with the ACC matchup here, which should be a great one between Louisville and North Carolina. Both of them a little up and down throughout the season, but at this point, I mean, I think you could say both of them are a little bit undervalued. What are we looking at side and total, Brian?
Louisville is a 3-point road favorite here, total of 162. There are differences in the market. There's a 162.5 on the total. There's also a 161.5 on the total. There are as high as a 3.5 on the spread for Louisville.
First game this year, Louisville does. There's no home revenge. Louisville won at home last year, 83-70 in Pat Kelsey's first year. So technically 1-0 against North Carolina and Hubert Davis. I don't really have a lot. Kenny White's power ratings have Louisville 5 and the total 165.5. I was looking more to play Louisville team total going over. We know that they are a very good shooting team, like to play fast. Right now, Ken Pom has them 13th offense efficiency, and really impressive to see Pat Kelsey's team because really got better in a lot of categories, but really in all the important ones shooting wise on the offensive side. So that's the only way I was looking at playing this. What are you thinking for the Tar Heels and the Cardinals here?
Carolina has not lost at home this year. So
that is right.
Take that for what you will. Also, Henry Vasar did return for Carolina against Syracuse and was a big contributor to that win, and really kind of turned the tide when swung the momentum there in the second half, as it was kind of a close game there at Syracuse. Still no Caleb Wilson for the Tar Heels, still dealing with a broken hand, although he is shooting, just can't catch anything but a bounce pass. So definitely won't be returning for this game. But Louisville is one of the best 3-point shooting teams in the country. I believe is the best 3-point shooting team in the ACC. So having to do that in a road environment that will be fired up for this one. Obviously, I'm a Tar Heels fan, so take it for bias, but I'll be taking the 3 here.
Taking the 3 with the home team. Cannot fault you. You're right. 15-0 at home, right? And did cover in 10 of those 15. So it's a pretty good trend if you're going off of that. Feels like a high total.
Definitely feels like a high total.
Where North Carolina wants to slow it down, right? And at home have been able to do that. I guess not really, huh? 161st tempo. And it's the defensive side. So it's going to be strength on strength here, where Louisville's trying to push the tempo offensively, and that's where UNC wants to force them into the shot clock. But
yeah, the key thing, at least in my mind, that's going to get you over the total is, I mean, obviously 3 is more than 2. So if Louisville is actually hitting their 3s or getting the offensive rebounds,
right,
I would tend to think that this one will go over and the pace will get pushed. But if they're not hitting their shots and Carolina is able to box out and get the boards, they'll be able to slow it down here a little bit. So, yeah, I am a little concerned because, I mean, you're going to have to do better than 81-81 to get over that 162. So, yeah, that total does seem a little high to me. But we do have a lot lower total here in the other ranked versus ranked matchup here tonight down in Kansas, or over in Kansas, where we'll find out here in the New AP poll in a little bit. But number 2, Houston on the road at number 8, Kansas. That one, Kansas is a 2-point home dog, and the total is 138 here at the South Point.
Very fascinated by this one. Of course, I mean, you talked about Cincinnati beating Kansas as a big underdog over the weekend. And then Houston drops to Arizona, loses 2 in a row. So there's a lot of trends going into this one. We've had Kansas on a Monday night, and that was against the then number 1 team, Arizona. We talked about how good Bill Self is. Did not realize, right, until after the show that it was undefeated. So now comes into this one 40-0 on Monday night.
Under Bill Self, yeah.
Under Bill Self. So pretty crazy. I thought the other fascinating one, and I think you have this down too, but 23 home losses to 23 different coaches, not on Mondays, of course. Kelvin Sampson could be the first of multiple versus Bill Self. And then Kelvin Sampson on the other side, last time he's lost 3 in a row was 2017. So which one are we going with here?
Yeah, I think it's really difficult to win in Allen Fieldhouse, and especially the way that Houston. Yeah, I mean, I played them on Saturday. Didn't go well. So yeah, losing first time losing 3 straight since 2017. This one will be an amazing basketball game here tonight. I have to think Houston's gonna be fired up. It's gonna be a defensive battle, and that's why you see the total at 138. But I would still kind of think that this might be a 65-62 kind of basketball game. So that's still a look to the under for me, but I would also be looking at the home dog here.
I was curious with how the 2 games last year went and kind of pace. And the first one at Kansas wasn't very high scoring. No, there was double overtime, so 92-86. But even in the first half, they put up 6. No, the total now is 65.5. I wrote it on my sheet over there. It was 69 points, I believe, in that first game between those two, and 57 in the second one when it was in Houston. So that kind of keeps me off of that under. But Ryan, if you remember last year, this was that crazy double overtime game where Kansas actually was up with under a minute to go, and Houston forced overtime and then ended up winning that game. So we don't really give that revenge to the home team. They're already getting home court, but got swept by them last year. Now they get them at home, kind of get revenge for that double overtime loss. So I'm with you. I think the numbers are right. Our number is 2.5 and 134, but I think situational spot. I think Kansas is the side here.
There, I see JR in the chat saying he heard something about Houston hasn't lost 3 in a row in a long time. There was a gambling account on Twitter that does a little bit of hyperbole and said Houston hasn't lost 3 straight since 1898, which is not true. It is since 2017. And then, so yeah, some of the kind of other stats that Alex had mentioned, but kind of summarized here by Adam Sullivan at Sully_2029 over on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. Houston hasn't lost 3 straight since 2017. Kelvin Sampson could be the first coach to win 2 games over Bill Self in Allen Fieldhouse. Kansas is 40-0 in Allen Fieldhouse on Big Monday under Self. Kansas hasn't lost back-to-back games in Allen Fieldhouse since 1988-1989. Kansas is 138-24 following a loss in the Bill Self era. Kansas leads the all-time series 6-5. Houston has won 3 straight in this series. Bill Self is 1-4 all-time against Houston. And then, some of the other stats from the first tweet as well. But yeah, those are from Adam Sullivan there.
And it was 2017 Houston in the ACC when they lost 3 in a row to UCF, Memphis, and SMU. So very interesting. I like that has not lost back-to-back at Allen Fieldhouse. I think they're going to be playing tough, and that place is always tough to play at.
Yep.
So the crowd will be there getting involved. It's hard to imagine Houston losing 3 in a row since Kelvin Sampson's had them as one of the best defenses in the country. But, I mean, Big 12 is favored to win it all. The team from the Big 12 for a reason. So it's been very tough matchups. Iowa State, Arizona, and then now having to go to Kansas. But, all right, before we bring on Chris Andrews, we can kind of quickly go through our extra board.
Okay. The 7 games that are over there on the extra board, we've got Texas A&M CC as a 2-point home road favorite there and a total of 130.
So I do like this favorite, and it was on the poll here, but I like Corpus Christi here in this spot, laying those points. Power rating numbers say 7 and 131.5. I really dived into Southeast Louisiana, and they lost one of their best shooters, and they've really been struggling as of late offensively. They lost Seth Jones, and since then, I mean, their offense has been brutal. Right now, Ken Palm has them 336 offense efficiency and 189th defense. On the other side, I mean, Texas A&M, Corpus Christi, 83rd defense. Their offense hasn't been great, but they are better, 298. So I think this is the spot, and Texas A&M CNC comes into this one losing back-to-back games, but they were against the top 2 teams in that conference, SFA and McNeese. So that's going to be interesting with those two kind of coming down to the wire. If you remember, McNeese from last year ended up winning the regular season and winning their conference tournament, made it into the NCAA tournament where they had one upset against Clemson and then ultimately had to face Purdue. But so right now, though, SFA is at the top of that conference. But, okay, so there's one of the 2 that I do like from this list. But we can keep going, and I'll just give numbers.
All right. Going to home favorite here with Lamar against Nicholls State. Lamar is a 2.5-point home favorite and a total of 145.5.
Lamar 2.5 and 144. There is some home revenge for Nicholls State, who lost this season at home 90-80. That is factored in, though, with that number.
All right, home favorite of Northwestern State of 4 and against Incarnate Ward, and the total is 139.
A little bit higher on both the favorite and the total, -7 and 149.5. But I'm going to stay off of this one, even though Incarnate Word is much better offensively than defensively. They're 334th defense efficiency and 163rd offense efficiency. But I'm just going to stay away from these 2 here. So, but maybe a lean to the favorite, too, if you want to dive into that more.
All right. Going to McNeese State, which is a 9.5-point home favorite against UTRGV, Texas Rio Grande Valley, and total of 145.5.
McNeese State is fascinating to me. Of course, Will Wade was the head coach, gets the NC State job because he did such a great job here. But Bill Armstrong, who is now the head coach, did coach under Will Wade when they were at LSU. So they haven't changed a whole lot. They're right there in this conference trying to chase down SFA. Their 80th offense efficiency in the country, 63rd defense efficiency. So even though our numbers are 7.5 at 142. I did not jump in on the other side. I just think there's too much on the line for them. So it was a pass for me, but I mean, there was 11s yesterday, so I understand taking the points here with the dog.
All right, Houston Christian at East Texas A&M. East Texas A&M is a 3-point home favorite, and the total is 137.5.
2 and 135.5. Yeah, nothing really much in that one. Both of these two are tied for 10th at the bottom of this conference.
All right, going to the double-digit favorite in our poll, Stephen F. Austin is a 12-point home favorite against New Orleans, and the total of 151.
New Orleans home revenge, lost that first matchup to SFA 84-79. So it was a close one when they were hosting. I think they could do it again. But Stephen F. Austin has not clinched the regular season and that 1 seed going into the tournament just yet. So they will still be highly motivated. But 9.5 with that home revenge added in and 148.5. So going to take the 12.5, or if there are any 13s still out there, I would jump in and get the best of the number.
All right, the largest favorite on the hardwood today, including the NBA, would be Grambling State, hosting Mississippi Valley State. They are a 16.5-point favorite, and the total is 136.
So, I mean, Kenny White has an underplay here. His number is 124.5. And if you dive into both of these teams from the Southwestern Athletic Conference, Mississippi Valley State is right now the worst team in D1. 364th offense efficiency, 359th defense. On the other side, Grambling State much better defensively than offensively, 176 compared to 335th offense. So I can understand that, and that making the case there for and under just really been a struggle for both of these teams offensively. Yeah, and both Patrick Carreri, first year there for Grambling State. I think that they'll be ready to play for this up against Mississippi Valley State just got their second win too, so they're coming off a big win. Ryan, maybe it's I don't know. It would be favored or pass, but the numbers are right and an under. Okay, that's it for us for college basketball. Didn't look at tomorrow's slate yet, but hopefully we got some more big games. Matt Neverett will be back with us in studio, so we'll talk a lot of college basketball, and we have some baseball to talk about that we didn't get to last week, so looking forward to that. But up next, on the other side of the break, Chris Andrews, Sportsbook Director here at the South Point, joins us on Sports by the Book.
If you're celebrating a special occasion or just love fine dining, you're in the right place. Come experience the crown jewel of South Point restaurants, Michael's Gourmet Room.
Welcome.
With over 600 different types of wines and magnificent dishes prepared tableside, you'll revel in the rich classic Vegas decor and the best black tie service in the world. This intimate gourmet room has earned accolades galore. Come to Michael's Gourmet Room for an unforgettable dining experience. Another famous restaurant is the Silverado Steakhouse, where you'll find the charm and service that discerning patrons require. From top quality steaks and chops to fresh seafood and desserts, you'll love the award-winning wine list and menu at Silverado Steakhouse. Steak lovers have even more options with primarily prime rib. Catering to hearty appetites, the menu features a variety of flavorful prime rib cuts, dry-aged to ensure tenderness, and then seasoned and slowly roasted. Although prime rib is our specialty, it's not the only thing on the menu. There's something for everyone.
Looking to bet smarter? Get sports betting insight and winning picks straight from the South Point Hotel and Casino.
The favorite should be 220-ish, and here you could lay $1.65.
So getting a plus 315 price here for this one to go to overtime. I like it.
Their strength is their defense. I like the under.
Join Sports by the Book Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific and bet your winning edge.
Welcome back, everybody. Sports by the Book, live from the South Point Hotel and Casino, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific time. Alex White, Ryan McCormick, and now, as we do on Mondays, we will check in with Sportsbook Director here at the South Point, Chris Andrews. Chris, good to see you.
You too?
How was the weekend?
It was good. Saturday was okay. We had a very good handle, but we didn't win much, but we won a little bit. Yesterday was terrific. We had a great day. And we had a lot of people in to watch the hockey game. Maybe not at 5, but by the time we got to the second period, it was the room was fairly well attended.
Nice. I love to hear that.
I slept in a little bit. So I missed the first goal, but I got up about 5:15. And was parked in front of my TV ever since. Boy, Hellybuck was just. I know he's been knocked a little bit, like for some of his playoff performances and stuff. He was out of his mind that day. Who was the Canadians goalie?
Bennington, Jordan Bennington.
Yeah, I mean he was okay, but he didn't have any huge save like Hellybuck had. I couldn't even tell you how many. He was great.
I mean, I think Connor McDavid actually only had 2 shots on goal.
Really?
But there was one of them where you're like, oh,
How
he's
that
definitely
didn't go
scoring
in.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then McKinnon too.
Yeah.
How that didn't go in.
Those two are two of the best players in the world, really. But I think Canada probably played a little bit better game overall. And I saw, was it McDavid or McKinnon that had the quote? That's not the full quote, by the way.
McKinnon. Yeah.
Is it McKinnon? He said, you judge who the best. The full quote is, he talked about what a great game it was and all that. But I do think it was a big game for the U.S. I think as a country, we're probably pretty close to Canada now, whereas when I was growing up, it wasn't even close.
Right. No, I mean, but yeah, I don't like how they just took that one part of the quote because
that was misleading.
I mean, it was intense. It was everything we hoped if we got those two down to the gold medal game, but they have a lot of respect for each other.
Absolutely.
And
by the way, let me mention the women's game too.
Yes.
That was fantastic. So I really appreciated that game. So I was watching, my wife came in, she sat down next to me, and she watched for about 2 or 3 minutes. She goes, I thought you said this was the women's game. I said, well, it is. She goes, I can't believe how good they are. Yeah, I mean, they're very good. They're very, they could skate like crazy, but their skill set is also very good, So, I mean, it was, I really enjoyed watching it.
Yeah, I did too. And ironic, 2-1 USA versus Canada in both of those, men's and women's. But good to hear that the place filled up, and then I'm sure a lot of people were betting college basketball. How you said the handle was great on Saturday.
Is
that the best Saturday you've had so far?
Well,
people really
probably, yeah. And I mean, I wrote down we had some really big games. There's and some big upsets. So I was just kind of looking at some. Well, the Duke game, Michigan, was probably the biggest game. But. I mean, that was a mild upset, but there were some big ones. Kansas, we mentioned, lost to a very mediocre. Who did they lose to? Cincinnati, a very mediocre Cincinnati team. There's a couple other ones. Houston lost, although I don't think that was much of an upset there. But, ton of money showed on Houston that day.
Yes.
We closed the game 6, I think.
I'm not surprised. It felt like a good bounce back spot. They had just lost to Iowa State.
Who, by the way, they lost as well. Yeah, they
Yes,
lost
they
to
did.
BYU. And that was kind of my team that I was kind of looking at was Iowa State. And, I mean, I'm not sure one game can determine anything right now because I think there's a lot of upsets. And, if I had to pick anybody that separated themselves a little bit, I'd say Duke. I think they look really, really good.
Okay, so that's going to be very interesting. The fact that they had that non-con scheduled, they even used the NCAA basketballs that they're going to use for the tournament. They wanted it very much to prep to make a run.
Yeah.
So I mean, both sides, hats off to them doing it this late in the year. But I mean, Michigan, you could learn more from a loss.
Yeah.
But Duke, I mean, yeah.
I don't want to name drop, but there's a guy very well respected in the world of basketball who I don't know personally, but my good friend does. And he told my friend, he said, he lost a lot, not respect, but he thinks Michigan is very vulnerable because he doesn't like the way their guards play.
Okay.
And he thought Duke, matter of fact, after the game, he said he took some Duke at 6-1 to win it all. Well, I went out to find Duke at 6-1. I couldn't get it.
Wow.
It's not out there. Well, and if you see it, let me know, because I don't see it. I saw like plus 450, plus 5-1. And I figured I'd rather roll the dice and maybe just roll over moneyline parlays. But if I want to stick with Duke, and I'm not sure I do.
Right. That's what I was asking about the Saturday, because it really does feel like everybody, all eyes on college basketball now at this time. I believe from yesterday, 3 weeks until Selection Sunday.
Yeah. You doing your homework?
Yes, doing
Okay.
my homework.
I'm starting to do mine too.
Yeah.
I'm woefully behind, I got to tell you. But this is when it starts getting fun.
Yes, it definitely is. What about Illinois? Big upset on Saturday.
Illinois lost a very mediocre UCLA team. I'm looking up and down. Villanova hung in there pretty good with Connecticut until the end. Then Connecticut won by 10. I think they were like about a 3.5-point favorite. Vandy got beat by Tennessee. That's a huge rivalry game. We had money on Vandy that day. I kind of liked Vandy myself, but Tennessee beat them. Louisville was playing tonight. They had a nice win against Georgia Tech. Carolina, what'd they do? Did they win on Saturday? They did.
Yeah, they beat Syracuse.
Yeah, they beat Syracuse, a good Syracuse team. So we've got 2 games tonight, but they're both really good games.
Yeah.
Both road favorites. By the way, I checked. It looks like money is definitely shown on Kansas. I see 1.5 and 2 in
Wow.
the game now. Where we opened the game 3. I don't know. I kind of like Kansas in the game. I wasn't involved in the opening numbers, but I kind of like Kansas.
I wish I would have jumped in on that 3 yesterday, because, I mean, you guys and books have been everywhere from 1.5 up to that 3, and then now it seems like we're moving back down. But Ryan has a couple trends going into this game that I think you'll enjoy. We got to tell you, because, I mean, Bill Self has been outstanding at home, and we know Monday nights.
Especially in big games.
And big games.
Yeah, okay. I want to hear what Ryan has there.
So on Mondays in the Bill Self era, Kansas is 40-0 in Allen Fieldhouse.
That's pretty good, right?
They are 138-24 following a loss under Bill Self. Let's see. They have not lost back-to-back games at home since 1988-89. And then this would be
88-89. Larry Brown was the coach then. I think. Seriously.
And then going to Houston's side, I guess Bill Self against Houston, 1-4 all time. So Kansas 1-4 against Houston. Calvin Sampson would be the first coach to win 2 games over Bill Self in Allen Fieldhouse. Houston has won 3 straight in this conference rivalry. Kansas leads all time though 6-5.
And then what about Kelvin Sampson? Has not lost, or his team has not lost 3 in a row since 2017.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. Sampson, I think, is a great coach. I really do. But so is Self.
Yeah.
I don't know. Kansas at home, though. I mean, just Kansas at home is different than Kansas away from home. I kind of like, I wore my Kansas shirt today.
Yeah.
So.
Especially coming off a loss that was at home to a Cincinnati team where right.
They really did. They looked horrible.
And
but I just don't think that'll happen 2 games in a row.
No, I agree. I think that situational spot, that's the way to go. Louisville and North Carolina is a little bit tougher.
Yeah. I don't have any opinion there. Gun to my head, I'd probably take Carolina, but I don't have a strong opinion.
I think it's a good game to watch there. Kind of feel good to know both of these teams. As I said on to Vinny on Friday about Miami, Florida, and Virginia, that was a tough game down to the wire there.
Yeah, Virginia was pretty significant favorite. I can't remember what that number was, but I think they won by 3. Is that correct?
Won by 3.
Yeah.
Closed 7.5 around there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, This will be a good one to watch. Speaking of Vinny, and you were talking about that UConn and Villanova game, and Vinny brought up, because we have the prop, had no movement yet, so it's still at the opening numbers, but he talked about some people he respects liking that 9-1 for the Big East. And watching UConn come off a loss against Creighton, take care of business against Villanova, just thinking about having that team and then a few others.
Well, St. John's, too.
St. John's.
You know, they won, they beat Creighton, by 29.
Yes, they did.
I'm looking, and that was close the first half. But this friend that I talked about, who's highly respected in basketball world, he thinks Pitino is the best coach, period. And I'm not sure that's true or not. But I got to tell you, he's way up there. And, if you watch his teams, if he sees something wrong, he corrects it like that. He really does. And he's, I don't know if they have the horses, St. John's, to win it all. But I think they'll be that team's live. And we're talking about the Big East. You got them. Villanova's not bad. I mean, Villanova's a pretty good team.
Yeah.
But, Connecticut's probably the team that you're going to be looking for primarily.
When do you think you're slowly getting some action on these, but not a big enough bet to move any of them yet?
No, a couple $100 here and there. Nothing major.
Okay, so here we sit. Big 12 plus 140, Big 10 plus 170, ACC 4-1. Of course, you're getting Duke, the top team in that one right now. SEC 7-1, Big East 9-1, and then West Coast Conference there 25-1, and the field at 30-1.
Yeah, you got Gonzaga and St. Mary's, and Santa Clara is not bad either.
No, they're
Who
really
else?
good.
Somebody
Can
else on
Santa
there?
Clara have a chance to actually
Santa Clara's pretty good.
be in the championship game this year? Well, we know
I
how
don't
the
know.
we know how the West Coast Conference does it though.
Yeah.
With the whole ladder, and if you get first or if you get 1 and 2 seed, you're pretty much locked in
Oh, yeah. You almost got to pass to the finals.
Yes.
To the semis for sure.
for the semis for sure. Yeah. All right. So, anything else? Did you guys have golf on or NASCAR
we did.
yesterday?
We did have golf. And I'm looking, I said, I'd never even heard of this guy. And I was surprised. We had him listed. I think we closed him 75-1. But I'd never heard of him before yesterday. So we had that on. We had NASCAR on. We had a little bit of action there too.
I took a little shot on Xander Schauffele, so that's kind of disappointing. He had not a great Sunday. But I was listening to Wes Reynolds, who jumped on our show 2 weeks ago. I was listening to who he had going into the weekend. He had Rory, and I felt bad because he was right there.
He was right there for a while, yeah.
And yeah, he's looking like he's in pretty good form right now. Where after last year, it took him some time after he got that monkey off his back.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to have Wes on. I hope we get Wes on before the Masters. So
Yes, definitely.
So
going
Wes,
to.
we're reaching out to you, buddy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ryan, anything else?
I don't necessarily have anything.
No, I think that's it. It's a quick Monday for us. Anything else from you?
Oh man, what a terrible schedule today. Jeez. Yeah.
And then Hockey comes back Wednesday. We do have we barely have.
Is it Wednesday or Thursday?
Wednesday.
It is Wednesday.
Wednesday?
Can
Okay.
you believe that?
Yeah. Well, we'll see if Sidney Crosby's feeling better. Hopefully, actually I'm going to root for the Penguins to make a little bit of a run. They're playing way better than we ever expected this year. So we'll see.
I did see something. Got to go back to 1980 maybe to have somebody win a gold and then back it up with winning the Stanley Cup,
Wow.
and it's just one. So kind of looking at, maybe that being a motivation factor for some of these other teams.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting. Yeah, that's the one part. We wish we would have got to see Sidney Crosby play
I know.
in the gold
I
medal
know.
game.
Would it made a difference? Might have. It was such a tight game.
Yes.
One play here or there could have been the difference. So
I mean, even just the leadership, right? And the
Yeah.
experience and having him there. But I mean, he was playing. He didn't look like he was past his prime by any means.
Oh no.
We were
no.
talking
I mean,
about his line.
Yeah, he's still. You could see he's just not as quick as McDavid and McKinnon. But being the third best center in the league is not the worst thing in the world. It's just not. So especially with all his intangibles, which he definitely has.
Yes, definitely. Well, we do have one though. We have a medal question. Is that our ticker trivia, Ryan? Did we end up using that?
You're talking about the all-time Winter Olympics?
No, I was talking about which NHL team is taking home the most medals, whether it was gold, silver, or bronze.
That was not our ticker
But
trivia.
that was just for fun.
Yeah.
Oh, do you have that?
I do know who won it.
Yeah. Who was that?
Okay, so yeah, which NHL team had the most medals, most
Members of the team.
most members of the team that ended up winning a medal, whether
Let
it
me
be
take a
gold,
guess.
Okay.
silver, or
Montreal.
bronze. No.
No? Okay. Well, that's my guess.
Florida.
Just from this year, though.
Yes, just this.
Oh,
just
this,
this
oh,
Olympics.
okay. I was thinking all time.
Yes.
Yeah. You threw me a curveball there. Okay, Florida. I can see that.
But yeah, Florida did have the most guys sent to the Olympics. They had 10, and 7 of those 10 ended up medaling. They did only have 1 American, though. So
Yeah,
1 gold
I mean,
medal, 4 silver, and
They are the defending champions. I mean, it makes
3
sense,
silver, 3
right?
bronze.
They are 2-time, yes. And they are right now, they are not in the race. And then they had all those.
Yeah, they had some injuries this year.
Yes, they did. Coming back, though. Well, let's go to ticker trivia. We're going to get out of here. We need to let you go first before we wrap it up and go?
I got nothing to do upstairs. You
Okay.
see today's schedule?
Okay, Ryan, let's go to you for ticker trivia for the day. And then we'll talk about the poll with extras in Texas.
Okay. So we'll go to Ticker Trivia, presented by City Light Shine, available at Lee's Discount Liquor, Total Wine, and here at the South Point Hotel and Casino. It was a a baseball question for you as we are in spring training. Which southern U.S. cities that do not have MLB franchises today are accepted among baseball historians as the first main hosts of spring training games?
Oh, wow.
You have any guesses, Chris?
Vero Beach?
That is not one of them.
Got me.
I don't know if we
So-
have any.
Oh, we do. Yeah, we do have JR letting
Okay.
us know kind of as we're going here. But your ticker trivia answers presented by City Light Shine would be early host cities of spring training dating as far back as the late 1800s.
Oh, my God.
Included Hot Springs, Arkansas, where the Chicago White Sox and New York Mutuals played. New Orleans, Louisiana, where the Cincinnati Red Stockings and Chicago White Stockings played. And Jacksonville, Florida, for the Washington Nationals there. And JR did get 2 of those 3. So ticker trivia answers presented by City Light Shine would be Hot Springs, Arkansas, New Orleans, Louisiana, and Jacksonville, Florida for the earliest cities to host spring training games.
A little bit of everything now. Are you ready for baseball?
No.
We've been keeping an eye on the futures that you do have up,
Yeah.
though. And
I got Ashley
Going through
today.
team
She went through
totals?
all my futures, so
Okay.
we'll see what she came up with.
yeah, we're excited because you got the home run,
Yeah.
most home
strikeouts,
runs,
yeah.
and the strikeouts up too. Okay, sorry, Ryan. To the poll question.
Yeah, so today's poll was talking about extras in Texas. Which favorite says stay away and covers the spread? So Texas A&M Corpus Christi minus the 2 at Southeast Louisiana. Lamar minus the 2 versus Nichols State. East Texas A&M minus the 3 at home against Houston Christian. And Stephen F. Austin minus 12.5 at home against New Orleans. And 40% of the chat is going with the strong stay away with Stephen F. Austin laying the 12.5 at home against New Orleans, needing to win there by at least 13.
I think they get the win. I'm gonna take the points though. That kind of goes right into my bets for the day with our whiteboard plays of the day. I'm going with New Orleans, taking the 12.5. I do think SFA is a top team in that conference, but I think that's just priced a little too high. So taking the points there with the home revenge. New Orleans kept it close in the first matchup as well. The favorite I do like is Texas A&M Corpus Christi minus 2 on the road. And then I am going to jump in with you two. I think this is a sports by the book stamp of approval here. We're going Kansas at home, catching points against Houston. So I'm going to jump in there too with Bill Self. Does not lose twice at home with this team.
You know, Ryan has to go through all. Maybe we get Drew Dog. When I wear a shirt, How does that team do? So, Drew Dog, you got a lot of homework to catch up on, man.
We are now on episode 801.
You can do that in a month or so.
You can definitely find the episodes you're on.
Yeah.
So that would narrow it down.
I try to wear a shirt of somebody who's playing that day. I try. Sometimes I don't have one, but, today I have Kansas.
Just a feel for it, top of your head. Do you think they've done pretty well? Because, I mean, you...
I think so.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I wouldn't use that as one of my betting trends.
Yeah, this is all for fun.
Well, let's figure out what you are, though. Maybe we could.
Drew Dog has his one.
For my whiteboards, I will be taking both home dogs going against the OU schools. Letter OU. Carolina money line getting plus 145 here at the South Point, and Kansas money line plus the 115 here at the South Point. Need one of them, and we're okay. So
very good.
All right.
So yeah, Kansas, Tar Heels and Jayhawks there.
I like it. Ryan does that often, finds good value with some money lines, and then
I can see that.
Yeah, he's looking for one, hopefully both for your home teams.
Go
there.
Heels. Yeah.
Okay, so we've got a lot coming up within the next few weeks. We got Matt and Everett tomorrow. I believe my dad's joining us Wednesday because we got to talk college baseball that just started.
Yeah.
He's going to get us caught up on women's college basketball before the tournament and men's. We talked about Wes. We got to get Lou Finacaro on again because Ryan talked about...
I'll tell you what, that's a guy to follow, and he gives you one of those fighters. You could do a lot worse than following Lou.
I think a title fight coming up 2 weeks from now, so we'll try and lock him in for that. We also have we're gonna get Captain Jack too. I did speak with him,
great.
So that'll be a nice, good kind of interview style, and talk to him about where the market is and how everything has been going. So a lot of good things coming up. We're looking ahead to NCAA tournament, which we do have. This is a good time to tell everybody. You want to come down to the South Point because we have the most massive madness party in Vegas, March 19th through 21st, Exhibit Hall. Plenty of seating, screens, and of course, betting windows and kiosks, free parking and entry. So, we've got a lot coming up here, Chris, that we're looking forward to. NBA, NHL, playoffs around the corner as well, and then baseball.
Let me just say objectively, completely objectively. I'm not neutral, but I am objective. It's by far the best party in town. Free to park, free to get in, great food value, great TVs, betting kiosk. I mean, we got, I don't know why you'd go anywhere else. I really don't.
I mean, there are groups, typically guys, that will come to Vegas still, even though betting is, legalized in more states, but they like to keep the tradition, come to Vegas for that first weekend of March Madness, and they always stop either Thursday or Friday. They're here at the South Point because it is. I mean, it's the best deals, most bang for your buck.
I made reservations just in the last couple of days for 12 guys from out of town.
Very good.
They're coming here, and one group comes here every year, and the other group, they came here last year just like on a whim, really didn't know much about the South Point. They'd always gone elsewhere. They said, we're coming here, So I said, all right, I'll take care of you. I mean, they play pretty good. So
very good.
Here they are.
Yeah, I love it. And, Rob Meesh usually actually does nice write-ups about it in the Chicago Sun-Times. And, I mean, Three-Man Weave, we always see them. They're very well-known basketball podcast. So it's awesome. Looking forward to that best weekend. I love that weekend. It's just craziness.
Yeah, I do too.
All right. Well, that's it for us. Ryan, one more time, tease for tomorrow. What are we doing with Matt and Everett with baseball and college basketball?
Yeah, we'll talk on both baseball and college basketball. We'll look at kind of Matt's thoughts, maybe a little bit on spring training and how things are going there, and then looking back at the win totals as Matt is kind of narrowing down his plays before he gets to opening day and make sure he has 5 win totals in pocket. But also outside of that, we do have the Las Vegas Baseball Classic coming up here this weekend, where we have 4 college baseball teams coming to town and playing over at the Las Vegas ballpark. So if you are in Las Vegas and able to make it over there this weekend, we do have Vanderbilt in Vegas, which has been one of the premier college baseball programs for the last decade plus. We have Arizona and Oregon as well as and the 4th and final team would be UC Irvine. So if you like some West Coast college baseball or want to see a top program in Vanderbilt, got to make sure you get to Las Vegas ballpark this weekend, as we have round robin games, six games there for college baseball in the Las Vegas Baseball Classic.
Oh, that's great. Vandy, you're right. You said a decade. It's more like probably 2 decades at least, I'd say. And those other programs are pretty good as well. Yeah.
I was thinking immediately about the over at the Las Vegas ballpark, but their pitching's been really good too, right? We got to look into that. We'll talk to Kenny White about those numbers there. All right, that's it for us on a Monday. Thank you, everybody, for joining us and being active in the chat. We appreciate all of you. See a lot of our regulars there, a lot of USA support. So love to see it. We'll be back tomorrow and the rest of the week, 10 a.m. Pacific time on Sports by the Book. For the crew and Jerry, Sean, Vince, Drew Doug, Chris Andrews, Sportsbook Director here. If you come stop at the South Point, say hello to Chris and Vinny. They love when people go say hi and stop by and introduce yourself. And for Ryan McCormick, I'm Alex White. We'll be back tomorrow here on Sports by the Book.